Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of Rim Shots with Sean, brought to you with Barstools and Band Talk. And I got a brand new Headhunter Canada partner. I'm so excited about that. These are some of the most fabulous sticks I've played. As everybody knows, I've used Easton for a long time. These are 2B Maple. Thank you to Dave and the crew. They do great stuff. We're here today. I got Mr. Zach Lacey.
How's it going?
The shot. My buddy Terry Hume has been on me to demo this unit for quite some time. This is the Yamaha EAD10. It stands for Electronic Acoustic Drum 10. We got Bruce Nelson on the camera doing his artistic thing. Bruce doesn't do anything bad. It's like, he can make pizzas, he can, everything.
I do, Sean.
So basically what we're going to do is we're going to put this thing through its paces. I have Zach here because Zach's been putting this thing to work for a couple weeks now.
A couple weeks trying it out, yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, I know very little about it in terms of the technical side. So what you're going to have is an A/B, and Zach's going to go through some technical stuff, and you're going to see the look on my face if I like it, which I'm sure I will.
Show me what's in your other hand there. What is that?
My other hand. So this is the unit that goes on the kick drum, and as I understand it, Zach, it's got 3 mics in there that basically pick everything up.
It's a kick trigger and then 2 mics that capture the stereo image of the kit.
So basically, this is all you need to mic an entire kit. And we're going to get into some of the info as we go. I reached out to some people that I know what they're using it for in certain applications, and you're going to find it very interesting. Price point, last time I checked, it's somewhere around $650 to $700, depending upon where you are. But everybody that I know that uses this swears by it. So we're going to put it through its paces. And what we're going to do is we're going to do it in segments, because if we do too much, man, it's hard for us to get the info to Jason. So here we go. We'll be back right after this.
Cut.
Here, Rim Shots with Sean, here with Zach Lacey, Bruce Nelson. We were at Monte's, the big M, as you recognize. So we had Zach set up the EAD10. We were playing around with it just before we started recording, and I got to tell you, from what I witnessed just in a little bit, it is absolutely amazing. So, Zach, if you can just, I guess for ease of use so people can get a feeling, what's involved in hooking this up? Because you didn't have to do a whole lot.
No, it's super easy. There's on the kick drum trigger, there's 2 outputs, an A and a B. They're labeled. The cable comes labeled A and B. That goes right to the back of the brain, A and B. That's it. It's 2 cables that are loomed together. And then if you want to run it to a PA or something, you can plug in 2 quarter-inch cables into a GI box, and you get left and right, or mono if you want to do mono.
And how do we have it set up today?
There's a stereo.
Yeah.
So we got full left and right for full imaging, so to speak.
And Sean's got his in-ear monitors, correct?
Yeah, so I had the monitors on, and it was incredible. We started panning through some of the sounds, and I mean, so for starters, I counted 50 set sounds that are in there that I'm guessing you can play around with and modify.
Yeah.
But then there's another 150 empty user spaces that you can create your own sounds. That's massive. Like, I don't know if anybody that uses electronic drums would know how massive that is. It might not mean anybody that doesn't. That's literally thousands of kits in one little box here, right? And not only that, when you take this unit that goes on the kick drum, that is pretty much picking up everything that you have, the possibilities, especially for a small room, are really endless. So technology-wise, Zach, when you were using this and you were messing around with it, what were some of the features that you noticed that you think for drummers might be handy?
It's great for a throw-and-go show where you just want to have a quick in-ear mix and not dial in every mic by itself. Just get even mono, just throw a mono thing in your ears and you can adjust the volume yourself. Super slick that way. Sound-wise is great. I mean, you got separate controls for the trigger, for the kick trigger. So if it's too loud, you just turn the trigger down. Reverb's built in, a tons of different presets for reverbs as well.
And I'll step in for a second, not being a drummer, but
sure.
It might be great for doing a simple demo to get some half-decent tracks.
Oh, that too.
Two channels in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I like about this initially, from what I'm seeing, I have a mic kit that I bought for myself, but running mics is the worst part of, you set up and then you got to run the mics, and I have all clip-ons, which is great, but then you got to run the cables, and depending upon what band I'm playing with, it doesn't matter how nice and neat I set them up. You've mixed that band before. It's spaghetti at the end of the night. This is a way, man, that I think could really be nice and neat and clean.
A simple gig, yeah. Absolutely.
I went out just before it wasn't just before, it was a few weeks ago, but I wanted to talk to some people that I knew used it, and I want to give out a shout out to Francis Ruiz, a friend of ours. Zach's played with him before. He's a friend of mine. He's a drummer with Buck Cherry, and he was using this, and he basically says I use it to add to my inner mix. I change settings depending upon the acoustics of the room. So that's key, because any drummer will know, even when you have your bud set, things will change here and there. Monitors not so much, but buds can be very finicky. And then he goes on to say, each room and each venue has a different sound. So sometimes they got metal ceilings, sometimes they have different ceilings, and he knows right away what happens and what he's going to need, so he'll dial things in. But this is his go-to for his inner mix. And sometimes he says he will trigger some stuff off it, which you can trigger stuff off this unit as well.
Yeah, it's got look at this actually. Yeah, so it's got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it has basically 4 triggers you can put in. So you can add a snare trigger to it or a tom trigger and get more sounds as well. But I mean, basically, it's like out of the box, it's just a kick trigger and 2 mics and it works great for.
Well, and I will say, I mean, I have 2 extremely capable sound people here. But I took it out of the box, I could tell what everything was, as dumb as that sounds. Because if you haven't used any sort of technology before, you don't want to be fumbling around with it. You want to make sure that it's plug and play for the most part. A lot of people, when they use this type of thing, they're not going to read the manual. I don't even, that manual sitting there in the box, I bet you it doesn't even get cracked open at any point. But my point is, it was a simple little wing nut that went on the kick drum. Zach hooked up a couple of mics here, and nice clean setup. And really, as Bruce is zooming in on that one little unit's powerful. What did you tell me about that? What's inside it?
It's just a kick trigger, so it's a little sensor on the bottom that touches the skin of the kick head. That's your trigger sound. And on top, there's 2 microphones that capture like a
Ambient mic?
Ambient mic, yeah, but it's 2 mics that capture left and right. So if you're playing with in-ears and stereo, you get the full image, in your ears. If you're recording in stereo, you get the full. Hat on the left side, right on the right side. So
what I like about this too, and Bruce, I don't know if you can see this, I'll hold it up. It's got a dial on it. So as you're going through, you can just turn the dial, scroll through, and your different sounds. And like I say, I got up to 50 sounds. There's some pretty cool ones. It's 1985, because yes, it is always in my world. But but just some cool stuff. Room reverb, shuffles, really cool like dance stuff. And like I say, 55 of these sounds, but then another 150 that you can mess around with. The unit itself, super light, which it's made. If you can see on the back, we're not going to do that, but you can mount it on a stand, so you can put it like right by your hi-hat, above your hi-hat, easy to get at. And because again, that's key stuff. If you're running, well, and not to switch gears too much, but you can actually put tracks into this and play off an iPhone, correct?
yeah, so it's got an aux in on the back, 1/8 inch. So this 1/8 inch cable. So I use 1/8 inch to lightning bolt adapter for the iPhone or iPad, and you just adjust that through the audio click knob, and you can blend in both together. There's an app that they make called Wreck and Share, which has been the newer iOS versions don't work as well, but the back also has USB out, so you can go to a laptop directly and record right to your interface, your Logic or Pro Tools or whatever you use for the DAW.
So this part of the review, I would never consider myself an extremely technical person. I mean, I've used more technology probably currently than I ever have. That being said, I'm always asking Bruce and Zach what's good, what works. As somebody that I will call limited in that scope, this to me was really simple to set up. And I think that's very key for anybody that says, oh, I'm old school, I don't want to do that, I need mics. You know what? You don't need mics. And especially when you're playing some of these smaller rooms where you might run a couple overheads, you might not even be able to put mics in, because if you play loud, this is what you're going to want to get. So we're going to come back after this segment, and we're going to try this puppy out and hear some sounds. Hey, back here at Monte's Rim Shots with Sean, and we were trying out the EAD10, and I'm sorry, Terry, long overdue on this, and Ryan. We're going to get into some sounds here, and I'm going to get Lacey to help me out with this, because he's got a lot more experience on this than I do, and I'm more than willing to admit when I don't have a lot of experience. But the first thing you're going to notice, and Zach's recording this into a program, there's your kick drum, okay? That's mic'd from this unit. So, you're playing. I've got it in through my buds, and I'm sitting there going, I'd be totally comfortable with using this in a set. And we just set it up. We haven't played around with it. Again, with the sound, so you can hear different sounds as you're going. A little bit of fade. Right? And just as we go through, you get the feeling. Anytime that I'm trying a piece of technology, I always like to start with the kick drum, because I find if you get a meaty kick drum sound, most of the rest of the kit's going to sound cool. I'm going to guess you can probably change pitch and stuff in this thing as well.
I haven't tried it, but I think you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of different cool sounds. It's 1985 again. So again, as we're going through it, levels are great, sound is great. It's one of the things sometimes I find when you on electronic drums, when you change sounds, levels go up and down, but this seems to be holding everything really, really nice, because it'll affect your playing, right? It goes down, obviously you're going to hit harder. If it goes up, you're going to hit lighter. So, you know, we're scrolling through this, and the thing I like about it, if it was mounted, you'd be able to get at it really quick. But again, the buttons are cool. Everything's really cool. You can change stuff around, like Zach was saying, to, you know, do more and less of the unit itself. There was a sound in here that I really liked. Let me see if I can find it. We're just going to watch heavy rock sound, Sean. No, it's not.
We can't hear what you're hearing.
I'd put that up against any Metallica album any day. Of course, I did exactly what Lars did. I got stuck under the ride cymbal. So anyway, this is just absolutely, it's a beautiful piece of equipment. And again, what I like about it, I'm not super technical, yet I'm kind of moving through this really, really well. As you were using it, Zach, what were some of the features that you were kind of noticing that might be a little bit different or helpful or useful for people?
I found, though, how easy it was to use was super nice. Not trying to worry about, like, you know, all different settings. So some e-drum settings have, like, a lot of different stuff that, you know, that stuff built in that never going to get used.
Right.
It's just there for whatever to have. This is super dry. You know, you want more reverb. You want, right?
There it is.
To play a little bit snare, maybe. That's maxed out, obviously, but you can turn it down to a nice level.
That patch is called calf heads.
Oh, there you go.
Which is cool, right? Oiled, it again.
There's so many different sounds.
I mean, I could sit here all day. I'm the guy that, you know, doesn't get too carried away with sounds. You spent 5 hours in the snare sound and the rolling kit, but this just to me is just, it's a wonderful piece of technology. I can definitely see why people buy into it for in-ears recording, like Bruce said. I really think he took this into a studio for demos. I even think, and we'll listen back to what you have there, but I even think you could get away with recording with this thing if you were dependent upon what.
I mean, I see a lot of guys on YouTube do drum covers.
Yeah.
Just filming a drum cover video with just that. Just rather than try and mic up, you know, especially for a budget point. If you only have a 2-channel interface, that's all you need. Rather than trying to run, you know, get a 12-channel interface and run everything mic'd up, get the phasing right, get everything, you know, this is an easy way just to throw and go. And the sound is cool too, because like you can go to, like you said, the phaser, and it kind of inspires in a way some kind of creative stuff too. You know, you can play like different sounds and have like, you know.
Well, no, that's you guys don't hear that, but now that's kind of a boingy kick drum, like almost like a '70s John Bonham type, you know. Which just sounds thunderous, right, in my ears, anyway.
Yeah.
So I mean, we could go on and on all day about this review, but here's what I'm going to tell you about this. I definitely recommend this unit, because in the short time we've been playing around with it, I see the value right away. One of the things that when I play a lot of small rooms, like I was saying earlier, sometimes I only get to throw a mic in the kick drum, don't get the mic anything else. With this, it'll pick it all up. I know a friend of mine, Warren Beatty in St. John, swears on this thing. He basically
Warren.
said, "I can't wait to." Yeah, I mean, Warren sent me a note saying, this is one of the best life-changing things I've ever used. So at the price point of, I think if it's
Like
$650 or $700,
yeah.
that's still you're talking a good set of drum mics, and if you're only playing small rooms, this is what you can use, man. I think it's just
At
wonderful.
$700, you're talking about 1/5 of a good set of drum mics.
Well, there you go, right? What do I don't know. So, but it's obviously it's made by Yamaha, which we got to get prompts out to them. And one of the things that anybody knows about Yamaha is they don't half-arse it, right? Like everything is made top notch. The quality control is ridiculous. Nothing goes out the door unless it's perfect. In this unit right here, again, we fired it up. I've had things that I've tried where you fire it up and cords are busted or the sound's weird or whatever. But this to me, pound for pound, money for money, is
What's it
the
called?
way to go.
EAD10?
Yeah.
The EAD10, Electric Acoustic Drum 10.
It's acronym. How clever.
It is, right?
Let's try play like maybe let's play a couple bars and then in post we'll swap between the EAD and the actual full mic setup.
Okay. That's a
Before-
great idea.
it's a comparison.
So what we're going to do, we're just going to do a couple of, this is the arena setting. So we're just going to out on an AC/DC beat.